Hello, Humera. Hi, how are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you very much. How about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much. Pleasure. Thanks for being on our podcast. Let's talk about data. And it's been long time. I was waiting for you. I was waiting for some data ladies because I'm very much interested in people who are ladies who are in data. I have three, four participants who are very passionate. And then I saw you on LinkedIn. I am very much active on LinkedIn. And thanks
Mm-hmm.
for agreeing to be part of this journey of mine.
Most welcome. Thank you very much for having me here, Mustafa. And I agree, the world needs more data ladies. So I'm happy to see that with at least from last couple of years, there is more input of women in tech. There are more women coming in data, in AI, in tech in general. But yes, we still have a long way to go.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So tell us about yourself. Normally, our trend is we let our guests to introduce themselves because we don't
Mm-hmm.
want to make a mistake. I made a mistake because in data world, people are doing a lot of things, right? I end up introducing one part of the participant, I forgot to the other part, and later that participant told me, "Hey, you missed that piece." I said, "Okay, let's make a room. Guests introduce themselves." So this is your first time on our podcast. Please tell us about your journey.
First of all, no worries. We all make mistakes, and all of us are so multidimensional that you can't cover everything at the same time. So, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Humera, and I built my first AI based chatbot 25 years ago. So, that was the time when AI was not a household name. That was the time that nobody knew what this so-called artificial intelligence field is going to hold about. But that was the time when I built my first AI-based chatbot. It was quite primitive, nothing compared to what Claude or ChatGPT can do right now. But that was my beginning of the journey into data, AI, and machine learning. So right now I am the Chief Technology Officer at Digital Munich, and as the name tells you, it's a Munich-based startup. And I'm also the founder of Lumen, which is the academic wing of Digital Munich. Digital Munich is a consultancy, it's a company that helps companies bring their innovation to life. It started a few years ago, and at that time, our focus was more in digital transformation, helping companies digitize their operations, their innovative ideas, where they had ideas, but they didn't have the expertise to implement that. So we would come in and help them do that. And now, since the last 1 or 2 years, ever since AI has taken over, companies have also shifted their requests. So to say, now it's more about AI strategic planning, helping companies implement AI transformation, and that's what we are doing right now. So I bring with myself almost 25 years of experience in data, AI, and machine learning, both in the academic world and in the corporate world. And to combine with that, entrepreneurial skills are there as well. So that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Tell us about your educational background. You're from Pakistan, if I'm not wrong, right?
That's correct. So I
What's
did
your
my early education in
yeah,
Pakistan.
I'm very much interested to interview people from Pakistan. And before we
Hmm.
go into detail, right, let me share you something that people think there is hardly any intellectual people coming from Pakistan, but I do disagree on that because wherever I go, because I'm interviewing a lot of people and I'm well connected with a lot of data and AI companies. Trust me, wherever I go, 8 out of 10 data scientists are Pakistanis. And we say our education system is not good. It is very good, although there are only, I think, five, six universities over there. But if we talk about percentage of data scientists here and there, they're all data scientists. And lovely to see in your presence that you are also in that. So tell us about your education background as well. It will be motivational for our new generation coming out of Pakistan.
Hmm. So I agree with what you are saying that we have a lot of talent in Pakistan, and we have a lot of people who go towards education, and they when they come out, we really flourish a lot here. In fact, I have examples in my circle where people who did their bachelor's from Pakistan and they came to other foreign countries for their masters was very easy for them because a lot of that content they had already covered under undergraduate programs. So I must say that there are certain universities where our education system is really very strong and we really go very deep. Having said that, it's not all uh, positive and shiny. There is a lot of room for improvement as well. We need to focus a lot on our basic education as well, female education as well, primary education. So there is a lot of room for that, but I must say that where there is a will, there is a way. One thing which I really want to also say through your channel is that many people think that females are not allowed to study. This is actually not true. And with this, I want to really give a message about myself that I am coming from a family where my father is a civil engineer, my mom was a lawyer, and for us, education was the most important factor. So we knew right from the beginning that education is going to empower us. So me and my sisters, we always worked very hard into towards education. So I did my I did start from my undergraduate. It was over 25 years ago. And under the guidance of my parents, I decided to go into computer engineering. It was an emerging field as well at that time. You can imagine like late 1990s or very early 20s where Google was not very popular, Facebook was not there. So that's the era. Internet was not everywhere. There used to be one computer in a household. There were no mobile phones. So that's the era. Now that sounds very old actually. But that's the era where we realized that okay, education is important and computer engineering was an emerging field. So this is what I would say. We went for a field which we could see would emerge and like really be a long lasting field. It was the right decision. And another thing which was important for me and for again coming from my family is that you don't want to be a mediocre at whatever you are doing. So if you are becoming an engineer, be the best engineer that can be out there. And don't stop at just undergraduate level engineering. So then I immediately after my graduation, I did my master's. That was in software engineering. And from there after again didn't stop, went towards my PhD. That was in machine learning, and the rest is history. So once I got my PhD, it was then more about okay applying things to where they are and seeing where the life takes you and where the market is going, where the field is going.
No, awesome. Thank you so much, Humera, for all this because with this, I think it's a time to say that because you are also from Pakistan, that it is time to highlight to the audience because my podcast is around goes around 35 plus countries, and I really want to highlight people that here Humera is from Pakistan. And I'm from Pakistan, right? Most of my education is from Pakistan. So I want to tell people that in Pakistan, girls are more educated than guys. And in every college and universities you go, 9
Yeah.
out of 10 high scoring people are girls. And they are educated like anything. We used to, make fun of girls in our school and colleges as well. That what you guys are doing, so the why they are not prominent because there are no international involvement over there. So if people go towards Pakistan, you will find so many girls educated, in fact, more educated than boys if you go into Pakistan. So look towards Pakistan. Don't think there isn't education over there. I never seen any girls being harassed on road. I've been to Islamabad. Girls are having coffees and fun at 9, 11 p.m., even 12 p.m., 12 a.m., I would say in F11 and F8. I think you are from Karachi. You can share your experience as well. So there is nothing called female harassment in Pakistan. Yes, there are areas, uneducated cities and regions in Pakistan, which is same in US, which is same in India, which is same in South Africa, which is same in Russia. I think Pakistan perception is little bit odd, and I think people like you and me should be raising this thing everywhere and telling people that no, talent is there. Come and try to search and you will find. What do you think about? I'm sorry, I'm detracking a little bit, but I'm so happy to find a girl from Pakistan within IT, especially in data. Tell us IT or IT savviness in girls in Pakistan, if you can share.
First, I want to reiterate what you earlier mentioned that yes, Pakistan, the place of women in Pakistan is very interesting because yes, you will find harassment, but you will find harassment all over the world.
True.
It's not like if you are in the US, then there is no harassment, maybe a little bit lesser. Maybe it gets reported a bit lesser in the media, but it's like they're everywhere. So just labeling one country as saying that this is the country where women are always oppressed, there is no education, there is always harassment. That's wrong to say. I have studied in the Pakistani University, NED University in Karachi, and I have taught there for 12 years as well. And throughout my stay, 15, 16 years of stay at NED, and I'm also associated with other universities in Pakistan as well. I have seen a huge intake and output of females in tech, in IT. In my class, and that's like 1990s that I'm talking about, we were 50% females, 50% males, and ever since this percentage for females is actually growing, and the top out of the top three, at least one or two even would be females. So they are not only doing quantity wise a lot, but they are also quality wise very on the top. I think the bigger problem, and again, not only a Pakistan related problem, this is an all over the world related problem. I've seen this in Germany as well. I've seen this in the US as well. Both of the countries where I've worked, I have seen that the problem is actually at the grassroots level. We don't have many young girls who go to school or who go into maths related courses. And because you always associate girls with pink color and dolls, and you always associate boys with something high tech,
Yeah.
helicopters and cars and robots. And from that point in time, we all over the world are putting in the minds of our young girls that, okay, this is your place and this is your mental capacity.
Yeah.
We need to fix the problem at the grassroots level, because if we have more girls who are taking maths in primary education and more maths in the college level, then we will have more girls in STEM education in universities, and then we will have more girls in professional world doing engineering projects, and then we will have more female leaders and more female executives. So we really, it's not a problem that the girls are not tech savvy. The problem is that the girls are not shown what they can do at the primary education level.
Across the globe, it's not about Pakistan. And as you,
Exactly.
it's the media thingy. I don't want to blame anyone, but that is how media is sold, right? That Pakistan, the other side of the image has been shown. But Naman, I think this podcast will become more over a non IT savvy podcast. Okay, let's come back towards because my wife is my class fellow as well, and
Hmm.
her marks were way higher than mine as well. She's also MBIT. She was the only social
I have
studies.
no doubt about it.
So on in social studies, she had one mark less than me, which I always tell her that you are not good in social studies, but that she was always brilliant. So all girls in my college, in my university were better than me. But here we are. We need to give more opportunities. I think at country level, we don't have opportunities. You don't have institutes. You know, don't have corporates who can really like let me take an example of India, right? There is Tata, there is Infosys. I've worked around 10, 15 years with Satyam, Indian-based companies. What they do is the student when they are in graduation, at that point in time, they hire them in their third and fourth semester. The moment student comes out, local bodies pick them up. There's nothing in Pakistan. So that is the problem. It's not like girls are not educated. They are, again, I'm repeating myself, girls are more educated, more intelligent than Pakistani folks. Because I hate Pakistani folks. These guys just talk a lot. So, okay, let's come towards data. Let's come towards data. Tell us, you said 25 years back, you created a chatbot. Tell us about that chatbot.
Hmm. So that's an interesting story. So that was the time when I was in my final year engineering, and as you can imagine, there had to be a final year project, and everyone was going towards front end development at that time. That was a new thing. Internet was coming in, and as I was looking for different projects, I wanted to really look at something that will stay with me for a longer period of time. That was not just there as a hype. And one of my teachers, he guided me to try out AI. And at that time, I literally searched for many books and looked at a lot of the fields of AI. There was robotics, there was computer vision, neural networks, expert systems, fuzzy logic, and decision support systems, and so on and so forth. So I studied all of them, and in order to demonstrate my expertise, I picked up an expert system. And at that time, perhaps you remember, there was only one expert system called as ELISA, which was, I believe, built in 1960s. And I decided to remodel ELISA with my own knowledge base. And I literally developed that from scratch, giving it all the knowledge that it needs. What you can call as a RAG of today,
Yeah.
it was there for me. My knowledge base was there. Then the GUI was there, a chatbot where you can enter your inputs using a text box and then it replies back to you. It is able to have a memory component, the context window, which you say that it can remember who it is talking to, and then a knowledge engine, a search engine that will actually, or a logic inferencing engine that will take your input, identify the using natural language processing what it means, and then get the answer and then give you the answer. So again, since now if we can map it from present day, now we have huge memories. So our context window is too long. Now we have the options to upload a lot of files, give a lot of background data. So that is much more stronger. But in its primitive form, it was able to do a two-way conversation, um, show emotions, and also appreciate the thank you and the please and so on and so forth. So it was like literally able to work, and that gave me the confidence and interest to then proceed into my master's towards software engineering and pick up neural networks for my master's thesis. And that actually gave me the confidence to go towards machine learning and computer vision in my PhD. So I would say that primitive ELISA model was actually the basis of what I am right now and what I studied, what I did.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Because when I was in masters as well, I picked up this SQL at that point in time. And I got in love into that because once you write a SQL, you need to understand the data. So I
Yep.
love the idea when you jump into neural network, that is what your mind is, how each node connects to each node, right? What are edges and how there is a lengthy discussion like I'm going into nowadays business modeling and all those kind of stuff, and I'm loving that. I was majorly what you were doing is not on talking working on a unstructured piece. I was always a structured guy, but
Mm-hmm.
since big data came in like 7, 8 years back, then I jumped onto Hadoop and cloud era. That is where I start looking into the power of unstructured text analytics. And that is everything changed. I even went towards quantum. I learned all those things, that cat theory, string theory, that all those things, that how multiple inconcurrent things happen. So yes, once you go into data world, there is no coming back. Actually.
There is no, and you mentioned quantum. I believe quantum computing is going to change things a lot
Yes, yes.
because the computational power is just going to blow up, and the things that we are able to do, what we are not able to do right now, we will be able to do that much faster with much more accuracy. And where do you see going the quantum going with the big data? Do you see what kind of future do you see there?
Actually, it's huge. I'm just reading a lot of people. Microsoft is working on it. Google is working on it. It's all about concurrent processing of multiple n number of scenarios at the same time, right? So if you are able to do it, well, people just because of that, people are now going into the space to get the energy from the sun actually, because they need that kind of energy, right? It's all to support quantum actually, right?
Yeah.
So if you go into a data, again coming back to the data, I always used to say like 15 years back, 16 years back that for me there's only two kind of IT. One is consumer IT and second is corporate IT. It's
Hmm.
my own categorization. Consumer IT is applications, front end, mobile application, whatever is front end. Corporate IT is only data. And I always used to say that data cannot die. Like you cannot stop talking, you have to communicate. So data won't die. There will be different flavors of data in every era. We all know there was data mining, there was data science, then it become AI, then it become something else, something. There are many AIs, generative AI, agentic, but data still remains there. And I think 2026 is where everybody is focusing on data foundation. Well, I can talk hours and hours on data foundation as well. People think we don't need data foundation. I was telling them you need data foundation more than ever. Like
Exactly.
couple of years back, 2 years back, 1.5 years back, this generative AI, I was with Patronas. I failed 9 generative AI POCs. When I say I was the head of solution architect over there, right? People they were coming and telling us that this can happen. I said this cannot happen. So I'm just telling in simple word that people try to achieve something which cannot because they were not building the data foundation. They were
Hmm.
putting everything into it, and they say you ask everything, it will tell you. It's not like that. You need to build taxonomies, ontologies, nodes. You have to get edges. You have to define a lot of things, and every domain have their own beauty. I'm sure I'm talking in front of someone who is already 100 times more knowledgeable than me. Let's go into our topic. Actually,
But I want to add something here. You are absolutely right. And in one sentence, it's garbage in, garbage
wrap
out.
it out. Yes.
And we are not AI ready. This foundational layer of data, as soon as our data is not AI ready, nothing can actually be built on top of something which is not really strong in the foundation. So, according to research, companies are spending over 25% of their time just in fixing data.
Yes.
And if for every AI project you need to fix data for building anything, you're actually wasting a lot of time. And that's why the foundational layer that you are seeing is so important.
Actually, I go to the next level. In structure world, it's garbage in, garbage out. But if you go into LLM and RAG side, even if you give it a good data, garbage can come out.
Mm,
If
that's
you
true.
don't give a proper context, if you don't build a proper base down there, even
Gems in, garbage out.
yes, it can happen, right? And it happens. That is called, people keep calling it as a hallucination. But I say hallucination is good. You need to understand what you are expecting out of it, then everything can convert into good. But if you do not know, I think that is where this 95% failure of the project, which MIT says, right? Last year,
Mm.
is because you are expecting something not expectable from the RAG or LLM, whatever you want to say, right? So in my experience, whatever you throw in, yeah, tell me about more. I want to hear from you.
I want to say that in that case, the 95%, according to the MIT, or the 87% from the Boston Consulting Group's report, these projects are failing. Data is one of the major elements, but also the other ones are what what we are, I must say, a mindset issue. We are starting with tools. We are not starting with a problem case. So, as you said, that if you know what you want to achieve, then you will give the right data, then you will identify the right use case, then you will specify the right metrics, then you will implement. The tool comes actually very late in the pipeline. And that's the problem with AI projects, and that's the biggest reason people are starting without knowing which use case is mission critical, without knowing what they are measuring, what are they improving, without having people on board. Neither the stakeholders who have the money, they are on board, neither the people who are going to implement things, they are on board. And on top of it, we have data problems and we have infrastructure problems. And I always say that if you have not fixed these 4 or 5 things before you jump into any AI or data project, you are actually gearing yourself towards failure. You should ask yourself, are you in an innovation theater, or are you making real impact? Because if you are not working on a mission critical use case, if you don't have champions around you, data champions, AI champions, if you don't have the metrics set in place, if you don't have the data, if you don't have the infrastructure, you are really in an innovation theater.
True. So let me bring my another theory here. I think discussion is going good and it will really very much resonate what our topic is, which I haven't told our audience yet. So I've converted,
I
I
guess our audience guessed the topic so far.
is AI. But let me bring this flavor, right? What I'm creating nowadays, I've converted our eras into four eras. One is operationalization era. Second is analysis era. Previous one, I call it analytics era. And the fourth one and the current one, which I'm calling it as a decision era. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Operationalization is something when we were creating ERP solutions, we were creating HR solutions, and all those which can really store data of your operations of your business, right? At transaction level. Then comes historical world, which is analysis world. Data warehousing came in, data lakehouse came in, data lake came in, right? All these data mesh came in, data fab, all these flavors came in. Then came the analytical world. Analytics world is your world, your era, which is machine learning, data science, prediction, forecast. So you have operations, you have historical, you have future. But all these were to take decisions, right?
Yeah.
End of the day, it was always for decision, but those were not made for decision. Those were made that let's build something from scratch, and when we have something, we take a decision. So it was always human. Now the decision world comes in. Now data is so much. Like, as you correctly mentioned, there are hundreds of thousands of tools in the market. I think in next 2 years, people will won't even know which tool is used because agents will be using their own tools. So tool
Yep.
is invisible now. Now you have to start your journey with your decision. What decision you are going to make. Based on the decision, then you track back. And then you build based on the agile technologies. I don't want to go into it, but this is what AI world I feel. So I think the most critical, I think we are very much coming towards correctly we're coming towards our topic. The biggest challenge right now is how to implement AI transformations in our organization, and that is what the topic is for our today's podcast. So let's jump into this, Samara. So tell us about your journey. How, first of all, how come you have come up with this idea of this topic, and tell us what you're doing on it.
Mm. So I came up with this topic because this is exactly what we are doing right now. And I am noticing that people are talking a lot about big, big words: AI strategy, AI transformation. We need to have this tool and we need to have that tool. But if I, as a team lead, or I, as an engineer, today want to implement AI transformation in my team, in my workflow, in my organization, what is the starting point for me? What are the mistakes that people are making that I shouldn't make, I should avoid? What are the biggest lessons that will give me the best ROI when I go with this kind of transformation? People miss out on that. And I realize that this is something which is the need of time to really break it into chunks of, okay, here is a framework, here is a playbook, this is what you can do. And if you want to implement AI transformation. And I believe this is exactly what we just spoke about. You need to start with the decision that you want to make, the use case that you want to implement. Full stop. And that use case has to be mission critical. That use case has to be related to the business. It shouldn't be just because it sounds fancy
Yeah.
and it would look good on a resume. It should be something which is impacting the business, because if it's not impacting the business, if it's not bringing in revenue, if it's not reducing costs, if it's not addressing any pain point that the business has, then you will lose it by the next board meeting. First thing is identifying that use case and making sure that you are working on a mission critical use case. And the second thing is to have metrics that define the before and after. Okay, this was taking 5 hours previously. Now it is taking 5 seconds to follow the pipeline. Now you can uh, change the parameters, and but the scenario would remain the same. Previously we were dropping our customers because we were not following up properly. Now we have an automation in place that follows up instantaneously. So we are not dropping customers, our customer churn or our lead churn is actually going down. Or previously, the teams were spending this much amount of money, multiply the number of resources, amount spent, blah, 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 and you get a before number, and then you get now we are saving all of this. So, use case, then the metric. You need to have a before and after whenever you are working on any AI transformation project. And the third thing is you need to have some kind of executive sponsorship, because the person who sits at the table, the person who will be the budget in charge, of course, these projects would need money.
Yeah.
You need to have somebody who can speak on your behalf in the room when you are not there. So if you are like really, and this is a problem with many engineers, they work on awesome projects, but they remain in their bubble and
Yeah.
they don't communicate the importance of what they are doing in the bigger scheme of things. I would say these three things are the most important ones, and then comes the tools that you are using. Then also comes that make sure that the data is ready, the infrastructure is ready, your organization is AI ready, and so on and so forth. But to get started, like we really need to have these 3 points covered.
No, that's perfect, right? I have one, as you correctly mentioned, that you need to have value in hand. Most of the
Exactly.
projects actually fails uh, because of adaptation, right? You bring something, you adopt something, but you don't adapt. People don't
Mm-hmm.
understand the difference. Like they want a new fancy tool in the world. They want to have a chat GPT, RAG, LLM in their organization, but they do not know how to generate a what value they want to generate out of it.
Exactly.
Just to refer to your example, as you mentioned, that if your pipeline was running 5 hours, now it converts into 5 minutes. But after converting into 5 minutes, what value you will generate for the organization? You don't want to see. People also confuse real time. People think real time means every second, but real time actually means once transaction happens, and that transaction makes what impact, and that impact will create what actions, and that action will create generate what value. That is where real time works.
Exactly.
Yeah, if your customer comes in, you really want real time customer. You want to see, but the thing is that customer is just a student. you know that how much money he is going to or she is going to put it in, how much is going to generate out. Does not, this use case does not matter to really process this pipeline in a real time. So real time is that what decision, because not all decisions actually, 95% decisions are not real time actually. Fraud
True.
detection is a real time, yes. But if you want to invest $1 million somewhere, it will never be real time, right? You want to catch some scam, yes, it will be real time. But to for that scam, if you want to implement a solution will cost you $1 million and you will implement some fixes that will never be real time. So you need to come up with a value before you so decision based. So okay, let me break it down for you. Maybe I will take your feedback on it. So I have a small canvas. I've created my own canvas. I will share with you. I always say whenever you go into a journey, you need to have your questions with you. You need to have your answers with you. Based on the answers, what actions you take. Right now, I'm not talking about AI in data. I'm saying manual. What questions you have, what answers you expect, what actions you take on those answers, and based on the answer actions, what value you generate. You need to have this before you start thinking whether you want to go out of Excel into a database or into a vector DB or where, right? So I will share that as well with you. But coming, okay, let me throw a question to you because people are very much reluctant because of failure of generative AI. Now, agentic AI here, relevant to our topic, organizations are very much reluctant to go into implementing AI because everybody generalize AI, right? Everybody thinks agentic AI is an AI. Agentic AI is not an AI. It's just an orchestration of the AI. Each agent is doing AI actually. Under AI, machine learning is working, right? So people are very reluctant. What's your advice for them? Where to start when they want to transform their organization?
Exactly the same answer as before. Start with the use case.
Hmm.
Don't implement AI just for the sake of implementing AI. Don't implement AI just for the sake of AI, because the tools today, yesterday it was something else. Then it was Gen AI. We were talking about LLM, RAG, as you said. Now it's agentic AI. Tomorrow it will be something else, quantum agentic AI, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So tools are going to change. What is not going to change is the business value that you need to work on, that you need to create. Whatever you need to create that business value, if you can go in this direction, then you are going to succeed. If you, the problem is that we start with the tool. Okay, now agentic AI is here. What do I do with this?
Hmm.
It's like saying, I have a screwdriver in hand. What do I build with this?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't start your problem or your solution with the tool. You say, okay, I want to hang this picture on the wall, and for that, I need a nail, I need a hammer, I actually don't need a screwdriver, and these are the tools that I will use, and then I proceed. So it always has to start from the business case that we are talking about before we go into tool.
So how so so tell us about like when you talk to your customer base, right? Are they aware of data governance practices, data foundation? Where do you see your customer base or in your region where these companies are?
Hmm. Uh, at a very premature level, I must say. People know, people understand that they need to implement that, but then they miss out on the balance that they need to find for fast innovation versus implementing everything with governance.
Hmm.
So in Germany, we are actually very conscious. So here we have a lot of uh, the maturity level is quite high because of the GDPR, the AI Act, and so on and so forth. So companies actually start with these questions that, okay, what are we going to implement? Is it going to be privacy sensitive? Is it going to follow AI laws and so on and so forth? So in Germany, I have seen quite a positive response. They are willing to go slow, but with the proper laws implemented. But in general, I've seen that people think of governance, laws, guardrails as actually afterthought. And a lot of work is actually to help people and train people in this mindset shift as well, that some things you can't work with biased data and then implement something and then later on try to fix it. You have to start with unbiased and fair data.
Okay, tell us about the quality of data because people are scared, right? As because of hallucination, people think quality is not good, but hallucination is one thing, quality is second thing. Tell us the importance of data quality in the journey of AI.
Hmm. Extremely important, I must say, as important as a brake in a vehicle. So, actually, people think when I ask you, why do we have a brake in a car?
Hmm.
What does it allow us to do?
To save someone, say,
To save someone or to stop the car?
to stop the car, of course.
I believe brakes allow us to go faster.
Because we know we have something to stop, right?
Exactly. And I believe that a good data quality, I believe that a good data quality, those guardrails that we put around these AI systems, they actually allow us to innovate more, go really crazy, because we know that if something will go wrong, we have these guardrails in place. So I actually do not see these guardrails and data quality as a bottleneck. I actually see this as foundation to later on in second stage, faster deliveries, better outputs, and more innovation.
Awesome. Okay, tell us one more thing because you are in Germany and we know how mature German market is, right? Tell us that people perception about that AI is going to take all the jobs. Was the assumption? Was the wave going in Germany?
It's very interesting. It really depends from the person that you talk to. In general, people are open. I have actually seen even senior generations, people beyond Gen X, baby boomers, actually excited about AI. So it's really mixed. But the bigger organizations, they have quite a lot of resistance when it comes to AI. It's not only about will AI take my job. It's also about okay, how do I over upskill myself so that I can be AI ready, so that I can be AI savvy. And there are two kind of paralysis that is happening. Some people are avoiding AI because they think that it will take their jobs. So I should not just interact with it. The other kind of people are who want to interact with AI, but they don't know where to start. They don't know how to do it, how to upskill themselves. And with all the new tools coming every day, it simply gets very overwhelming. It really depends on which sector you are talking to. It really depends on whether you are talking to a startup, whether you are talking to a mature organization. But in general, there is a mixed response. The biggest barrier is, in fact, in the adoption of AI, the biggest barrier is this mindset.
Mindset. Yeah, people think jobs will go away. I'm always an advocate that there will be more jobs. We are still struggling to solve so many problems and we are short of hands actually. We are still
Yeah,
sorting out the traffic problem. We are still sorting out who's going to wash our car, right? Car wash is
yeah,
a problem. So there are so many problems still out there. We need hands and legs to work on it, even in the organization. If one is not going to use, the other will use. Whoever won't use, they will become Kodak or Nokia. So
exactly.
for me, all these things, actually, I'm not scared. I'm not very much passionate about AI as well because for me is whatever life I am spending, wherever I'm going, what new tool can really help you? That new tool can be a new Excel, if Excel can become powerful enough to 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 read all my documents and it gives me a chart inside it, I won't go even out of Excel. Why the hell I want to go out, right? So AI is not about, as you correctly mentioned, a specific tool.
I still have my logbook as pen and paper. Uh, yes, the phone is right there, but the phone did not take my logbook's job actually.
It will never. I always say that whatever help you run faster, make your life easier, that's going to be successful.
Exactly.
10 years back, a guy was doing PhD on Google Glasses kind of stuff. So I told him, yes, fantastic thesis and good selection, but it's not going to be success. He told, why, Mustafa, bhai, it will not. There's a Google Glasses and this and that. I said, because it's an addition on your, on whatever you do daily life. Yes, Google Glasses kind of stuff is very good, but it cannot become part of your life. It's an addition. I don't have a watch. I don't keep wallet actually. I don't wear hat. Now I don't have anything. I don't have all those things which is additional of my life on top of. So we need to come up with something again, problem statement and decisions, right? Whichever helps you, that is going to bring your journey towards optimization. Okay, I think we
Exactly.
have a hard stop for this podcast. We can always have a chit chat after that. We have a 10 minutes. So let's go towards tools and technologies because that is also a biggest challenge in the world. Yes, we have to go from decisions. Yes, we have to go towards value. Yes, organization have to have coherence. All those things. Yes, 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 yes. Now select a tool. Hundreds of tools in the market. There
Yeah.
is Microsoft, thousands of tools of Microsoft, Oracle, so many. AWS, you'll find thousands. You have Databricks, you have Snowflake, brilliant technologies. How can an organization decide to select a relevant tool for their organization?
Awesome question. Very good question. And it's very important whenever we talk about AI transformation, this tool actually is important because ultimately you need to pay for it. You selection of the tool will tell you how uh, you are able to integrate it with the rest of the systems. How much cost are you going to pay for it? How much time are you going to spend building it? And will you be locked in a specific vendor or not? These are the actually the points that we always consider whenever we start the AI strategic implementation or the AI transformation with any organization. We have a checklist of key points, and as I said, cost is one of them. The other is vendor lock-in.
Vendor
Are,
lock-in.
are we fine with it, or do we want a vendor agnostic tool? I advise companies that if they are already locked into a vendor, like if you are already on Microsoft platforms, then stick with Microsoft platform. The quality of these tools, as we say, it's a difference of as we say in Urdu, 19-20
Yes,
ka
we
fark.
say.
It's like the difference between 19 and 20. So it's not like one is here and the other is up there.
Yeah,
It's like
kind of both. Yes.
exactly. What is very important is the data that you give it and how well it integrates. So imagine if you are a Microsoft subscriber, you have Office 365, you have SharePoint, you have OneDrive, and all your data is there. Then for AI, I would recommend go ahead with Copilot because you will have Power Automate. If you have service coming in, it's through, let's say, Microsoft Forms, and everything, the whole ecosystem will be in there. Why bring another tool? Bring another tool only if you literally need to. But if you say no, I really don't want to be locked in on a vendor. I have certain services for which I don't want to be locked into Microsoft. I want to have the capacity to use other tools as well. Then that's actually your decision making criteria. So cost is one, vendor lock-in is the other. Time to integrate, ease of integration, that's another factor that we need to consider. how well do these tools follow the laws, the GDPR laws, the AI Act law, and so on and so forth. These are the things that we literally need to check out. And as a rule of thumb, um, if you can take care of these factors, as a rule of thumb, you should go with tools which are 80% of the time you can use them off the shelf,
Mm.
and don't go for anything where you have to do a lot of customization, because that is costly, that is time consuming. And looking at the state of the world where we are right now, it we have solved so little use cases that we have a lot of room to play around with the tools.
Mm.
Many people actually ask me about the most basic use case: ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, Copilot. Which one should I go for? I always advise them, pick two and stick with them. And then, because all of these are good, when ChatGPT first came in, I was a big fan of ChatGPT. Over time, I realized it's not serving my purpose as the way I wanted. So I switched to another one. And I'm not married to the tool. I am not in love with the tool. I love it, but I'm not in love with it. So if tomorrow it will stop serving my purposes, I will move to another tool. So you should have, and the reason I say keep two tools handy, so that you can keep an idea and a cross check and a balance of how are these two tools performing. And once you realize that the quality is going down, just switch. That's more on a personal level. At the organizational level, of course, switching is not that easy, but then comes the other factors that I just spoke about. I actually recently published an article on this topic exactly. So AI readiness, AI transformation. When you are going towards AI transformation, how what is the framework that you need to work on? What is the playbook that you should follow? This question of how do I evaluate the different vendors? How do I calculate my ROI? How do I evaluate the AI readiness of my organization? All these topics are really covered in that blog, and it's available on Digital Munich and Lumen's website.
Awesome, awesome. Just to close this our discussion, I think when we are talking about vendor lock and this and that, my advice or my sent into the air is again coming back to the data, because all AI is supported by data, right? And
Exactly.
my advice to people is always make sure your data is not sitting into a vendor locking environment. Bringing it
Exactly.
into somewhere, some storage which can be connected with any other technology in the world. So your movement is easy. Like object storage is one thing. If you put everything into object storage, doesn't matter which AI tools comes and go, your data remains at one place. So that was it, Humera. Again, it was a great pleasure. We can have a talk after when we close it. Uh, Again, thanks for your time, and it was pleasure talking to you. And I'm very much impressed by your journey. And I hope we will be connected further after this and we'll share ideas. And I will always try to pull you into our panel discussion. By the way, I also conduct quarterly panel discussion where I
Okay.
have few people. One is from France, Sweden, Poland, Jordan, UK. So I have six, seven folks, which I always come up with a quarterly session. Maybe I end up pulling you one day into those as well, because
Most welcome.
I need Pakistani presence over there as well, because we have so many good folks, but they are all scattered around it. Again, thank you so much, Mara. Before we close this podcast, any last uh, points or any message from your end?
My message right now would be that embrace the technology. Don't be afraid of it. Upskill, try it out, and decide afterwards if it's for you or not. Just putting your head in the soil like a pigeon or closing your eyes is not going to help. The worst thing that you can do right now is to do nothing.
Yeah.
So go ahead, try it out, upskill yourself, and the world will be yours.
Awesome. I think you are referring towards a digital twin. I'm also a big fan of digital twin. Bring digital twin in the organization. Test out so many things that you can do without investing so much and going into production. Again, thank you so much, Amara.
I have to say this that my husband once said, I would love to have a digital twin for myself because he travels a lot. And he said that I travel a lot, so my digital twin can stay home. And whenever Humera has any questions for me, it can answer. And I was like, I'd be interested in sending your digital twin for the travel,
Yeah,
and you stay at home. So it really depends on what you want to do with your digital twin. But
our
it would be a good thing, actually.
rewards are coming in. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Amara. Pleasure talking to you. Have a
Same
good.
thing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and all the best, everyone.